Right, this is the new project. We're going to make a cheap or cheapish off-road camping trailer. We bought this for 150 quid. It's braked. I kind of figured that might be a bit more helpful. Just over 5 foot by just over 3 foot. Currently got 13-inch wheels on. We're going to look at moving those up to 15s. Has independent suspension, and there's no axle underneath to get caught. Drop down tailgate. All seems fairly solid. It didn't have a spare wheel, so I've taken a guess. And this is actually off a Volvo old S40, just to keep me with a spare in case I needed to use it before I got round to changing the wheels. So yeah, we'll make a start. We'll get it all stripped down, get it cleaned up, painted. We're going to change the electrics because these ones are looking a bit tatty and they're not working very well. So we'll have a look at those. Just going to point out as well, we're going to do this in 3 stages. First stage is we're going to get this cleaned up, get a lid on it and get it ready for use, so I can use it for Wales. Stage 2 is where I'll get it set up with the electrics and the water, get some solar on it, get the battery in it, and make it a bit more usable that way. And then third stage, we're going to either make or buy a tent to fit on the top. I haven't quite decided yet. A tent's about 800 quid to buy, so I think I may end up looking at making one myself first and see how that goes. Well, had some Amazon vouchers from work, so got myself some new LED lights, fog lights, number plate lights. Knocking around the garage, I've got some new reflectors anyway, so I'll get those on. I think what I might have to do is get some cables. I've got a 7-pin extension cable that I used to use a few years ago knocking around somewhere, so I'll use that to replace the cable that's on the trailer. And we'll take it from there. Get these old reflectors off, and clean them up, see if they're going to be reusable for anything else, but because I know I've got some new ones knocking around, I'll put the new ones back on the trailer when it's all finished. Come on, off you get. There we go. That's the lights removed. 4 bolts and all 4 snapped on both sides. We'll carry on dismantling and see where that takes us. Right, halfway through the strip down. The wood seems solid, so we'll be able to clean that up and reuse that. Right, we've stripped all the wood off the trailer. What we're going to do now is just go around the metalwork, get it all cleaned up, ready for a lick of paint. All sanded back, and we'll stick some paint on. Right, there's a quick coat of primer on it. ready for the next paint. Right, well I've started painting. As one can's run out, I decided to test fit one of the wheels, but as you can see it fouls. After going for the wider wheel, because I've got some Mitsubishi wheels, 15 inch, so I can put some 195 8-15s on it to raise the trailer up, but I'm going to have to get some spacers because it's the size that I want for this trailer, but as it stands that's not going to go on. That's running a 195 tyre at the minute. Even without the tyre, the rim is going to be fouling, so unfortunately I've got to put my hand in my pocket and get some spacers. This is the paint I've decided to use. Tough industrial paint. It's only from Tool Station, a few quid a can. This trailer should take a couple of cans. Finish isn't perfect, but good enough. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but the outside of the trailer, well, actually it's not coming up too bad on the camera. The outside is getting 2 coats just to give it that extra protection. Right, we've got the back of the trailer, the wood back together. What we're going to look at now though is the spacers. They've turned up this morning, so we'll get the old wheel off, see if we can get the 195s on. Not sure. No. No, that still rubs. The rim's clear, but the tyre's still catching. But I don't want to go any further out on the spacers. So what I'll have to do is get a narrower tyre. Get the floor secured. Pre-drill some holes and some screws in there. Right, we're just making a start putting some lights on the back while I'm waiting for the paint to dry for the sides. Number plate's on, number plate light is on, but I just need to wire it. Fog lights fitted. One thing I didn't take into account was the wire, because I don't want to run the wires through, because if I have the tailgate dropped and I'm dragging stuff across, I don't want to be pulling it on the wire. So I've just put a couple of washers on the back to bring that out enough to allow the wire to come through, and that will just tuck through and go under. One thing I have found is these lights. Let's have a look. Pull that back out of there. Because of how they are connected, if I try and put them through the wood, it's going to, well, it doesn't fit. So what I'm actually going to do is fit them back where the old lights were and see how we get on. They don't sit too low, so the metal is protecting them, so if it does get caught it should hopefully be okay. I did want them on the back here, out the way, but that's not going to happen, or at least not at the minute, because I can't think how to do it otherwise. And the brake light, got an additional brake light up on the top. One thing I didn't realise is there's a little bit that pokes out the back, so we're just going to get one of them and just dig a little hole in the wood just to allow that to sit flush. Well, if you've seen any of my other budget builds for things, you'll be pleased to know my measuring skills haven't got any better. That looks right. Yeah. Right, lights are tested, all the wires are connected up, so we'll make a start putting the sides and the front back on. Let's get it the right way around. One side in. Come on. That's going, that one is stopping it. There we go. Ow. Well, that was a lot more effort than it should have been. We'll get the front back in. Front's just held in with 2 bits of wood. We'll get them in place. done. There were some holes in the frame already, so it seemed daft not to make use of them and put a couple of screws in as well. Alright, there is bolts to go in here, but that will attach the chain to the side to keep hold of the tailgate when it drops, because it's no longer going to be removable as having the lights attached. I need to find a bit of rubber or something to stop that from rattling. So yeah, I don't know at the minute whether to paint the wheels and keep them on the 13s, so I don't know if that's going to be high enough to go on the lanes, but I'll go and have a look, see if we can get some part 1 175 80/15s to fit the wheels I bought. We'll have a look at that. But the next step will be to fit a lid. Right, well, due to funding at the moment, we're going to run its first trial on these 13-inch wheels that came with the trailer. They still give 10 inch of ground clearance at its lowest point, and 11 inches at the back. We're just going to give them a quick paint in black. This was about £6, more than enough to do the wheels. We're going to keep one of these as a spare wheel anyway when we do get around to putting the other wheels on, so just a quick lick of black paint just to tidy them up. But yeah, phase 1 is nearly complete. Just need to get a lid to go on the top, a couple of hinges and a chain to hold the tailgate. But yeah, nearly done, and I'll head to Wales and give it a thorough test. Well, I was kind of hoping this would be a nice quick one coat job, but it's not. So we'll get this first coat on and we'll let that dry a bit, and we'll stick a second coat on and see how that looks. It's not getting any more than 2 coats anyway, regardless. Right, second coat of paint on. What we'll do, we'll let that dry, we'll get some back to black on the tyres and see how that looks. Yeah, paint on the wheels have dried, so I'll give him some back to black. Just going to use some of that. I did call in at B&Q on the way home from work today. Got a bit of timber for the lid, which we'll look at next, and some chain. I've still got the other side to do, but I got a bit carried away and made a start. But while we've got this, give it a quick I think this is running out. It's not covering everything, but certainly looks better. There we are. looking like new. Right, we've got the lid. Having put that on the top of the trailer's not quite square, so we'll get it squared up best we can. The lid, so it looks right. We're just going to get the hinges attached, make sure they're in the right place, and then we'll get it. We'll start getting it painted. We just need to sand off the rough edges and make a start waterproofing it. Obviously, when we put the trailer back together, we left a couple of the bolts out, so we're just using them holes now to put some 4mm chain. That should have a weight capacity of 100 kilos, so 2 of them should be fine. I should be able to sit on the back of that if I needed to. I'm 100 kilos, so we'll we'll find out. So yeah, let's get the other side done. Not be got up too tight until we get the other end on. Give that a little helping hand. Just trying to do this without scratching up the new paint. Do for that. Just get that tightened up. That's the tailgate sorted. Right, before we look to attach the lid, we'll put some tie down points in the trailer, just so when the boxes are in there they can be secured so they're not bouncing around when they're coming around from the lanes. Right, just trying to work out where to put the tie down points. I tend to use 2 of them and 2 of them for storage, so at least I know I can get all 4 across there. Spare wheel will be living inside. The water, when we come to do phase 2, the water will be living on the outside, the battery will be on the inside, but there'll also be fuel where the water's currently sat. And obviously above the spare wheel I can put a box for firewood and that kind of stuff. So right, we'll just get a few of these put in and we'll get them screwed down. Alright, put 2 bolts in each side. I'll try and get these to line up with a couple of the holes. This is more of a faff than I expected it to be. I'm not a fan of flathead screws, but it's all I had in the garage. No, in relation to the wood. Enough resistance to
Hey.
Got it? Yep, got it. Yep.
And everything.
Hinges on. Need to fit the latches.
Right.
Cut that bit out that I forgot to cut out earlier. And then that's it. Phase 1 complete. We're using a 12mm hardwood plywood for the lid. So these small screws are about right for putting these on. Can't put anything bigger in there, otherwise it'll end up splitting the wood. thing one at a time, because I am known for cocking things up a little bit. And I'm not left-handed either. Let's get the last screw in then. Right, because the lid has been cut straight and the trailer's slightly out, what I'm going to have to do is just cut a little notch out there for that to sit in, and then we are complete. Right, phase one of the trailer is complete. So what we'll do now is get it packed up, and we'll take it on its trial run to Wales.